welcome to my channel. This is T's Thoughts and I'm Teresa, and I upload videos that will help you to encourage you, I should say, to live the abundant life that God has so graciously given unto us. So in this week's dose of hope, we are talking about how to God wholeheartedly. Scripture admonishes us to love the Lord with all of our heart, our mind, our body, and our soul. When we love God, we serve Him well. Let's chat about serving God. All right, y'all. So our scripture foundation for this discussion is Ephesians 6:7, and it reads, "Serve with a good attitude as to the Lord and not to people." Now, serving means, it can mean many things. It includes everything that we do that is wholesome and beneficial to someone or a cause. Let me give you an example. So for me, I serve through teaching you guys. Okay, I serve you guys, I minister to you guys, I teach you guys, I serve my family, I serve my husband, my children, my mom, and my brothers. Whenever they ask me to do something, I serve them. I serve on my job. When I go to work, I am at service to the people whom I lead and to the people that I help, to my patients and all of those things. I serve in my church. Okay, so those are the things that we do. Whatever thing that we do that is wholesome and beneficial to someone or a cause. Okay, in order to make a difference, serving must be out of our hearts. It must come out of our hearts. Okay, when you serve, now get this, when you serve from a place of have to versus I get to, y'all, it will not last. A have to mentality will eventually cause you to become bitter. You become tired. You become complacent in your service. And eventually you'll hate the act of serving because you're more, oh, I gotta do this. I have to do this. And we start to whine and to complain about our service. But when we start thinking this way of a get to serve mentality, then it comes from our heart. We find pleasure in helping others. We find fulfillment in our purpose because we get to serve and help somebody else, or we help a cause. Okay, so I'm gonna give you four points that's gonna help us serve the Lord wholeheartedly. All right, let's go to number one. Serving requires a good attitude. Let's look at that, because y'all, sometimes our attitudes stink and they are horrible. So let's talk about serving God wholeheartedly means serving with a good attitude. All right, an attitude that I get to do this is a great thing. I get to help and make a difference in someone's life. That is having a good attitude. When you start thinking about, again, I get to do what I do. A good attitude is one of gratitude. It is one that looks on the bright side instead of always looking at the dark side of things. You know that saying, the glass half full or empty. You know, some of us who have good attitudes can look at the glass and say, that's about half full. You know, and so, but those who have a negative attitude will always say, well, it's empty. What am I gonna do about it? Y'all, but we've got to have a good attitude. A good attitude will find a solution instead of always seeing the problem and just leaving it. When we serve with a good attitude, we approach the day with the attitude that I can do all things, I won't be defeated, and what I do, I will do it well. Okay, whether it's on my job, even when things don't go right, there are problems that come up, serve with a good attitude, even through the problems. No, we don't like problems. We don't like mean people. We don't want to deal with it. We don't want to deal with things that come up. But look at it. I get to serve. I get to help someone who don't feel well, who may be having a bad day, but I get to somehow, with my good attitude, somehow help them to feel better about themselves. Okay? So We approach it that way. And sometimes, y'all, you're not going to get the reciprocation. Sometimes you would not get the reciprocation of a good attitude. But God looks at what we do, okay? He looks at you and your actions and your response. So serve with a good attitude. Don't always find a negative and then harp on it and get with the group that's always want to complain about what's not going right and never can find what's going good. Come on, y'all. And then nobody wants to find a solution, but they just want to complain. Not good. All right, number 2, we serve as unto the Lord. So we serve because Christ first served us. Look, Christ gave his life for us for a ransom. Okay, he gave his life up for us. He paid back a debt in service. When he died on that cross, he paid back a debt that he didn't owe. He didn't owe that debt, but he served us because he knew that it was without him doing what he did, we could never ever pay that debt back. Oh my God, we could never pay that debt back. So look at it this way. When Jesus died on that cross and he took up the ghost and he died and rose again on the 3rd day, ascended on high, and yes, he's coming back again for us. What we can do in response is to give him our service. Okay, so what does that look like? We minister or care for someone else or something, just like Jesus did. Look, let me give you another example. So this is in John 13, 1 through 17, but I'm going to read a couple of the verses. It says, so if I, your Lord and teacher, have washed your feet, you also ought to wash one another's feet. For I have given you an example that you also should do just as I have done for you. Verse 16, verily, very truly I tell you, no servant is greater than his master, nor is a messenger greater than the one who sent him. Now that you know these things, you will be blessed if you do them. Now, Jesus left this example for us when he washed the disciples' feet. He said, look, I'm the teacher, but I'm going to wash your feet. I am going to serve you. So the same way that I am serving you, you should be find it in yourself to serve someone else. But when you do it, don't do it begrudgingly. Don't do it, oh God, I gotta wash somebody's feet. Come on. We are here to serve. We're to find pleasure into serving. All right, and look at this. We do not serve to get a reward from people. Y'all, when you start serving to get accolades from people, you're serving out of the wrong place. You have to serve as unto the Lord and let the Lord bless you. Because people, you may not get a thank you. You may not get a you're welcome. You might not get you're doing a good job. You may not get that. And yes, it's nice to hear it. Everybody wants to know that thank you, you're doing great and all that good stuff. But you got to know for yourself that what I do, whether nobody thanks me, God is going to reward me. And I do what I do because he served me first. Come on. Oh, Jesus. Number 3. Y'all, this is good. Dismiss the opportunity to complain. Y'all, every situation that we face is not optimal. I wish I could tell you that it would be. I wish I could tell you that when you are serving, everything in the day is not going to give you some cause to complain. Unfortunately, that is not how life is. But here's the good thing. When we complain, is it going to solve the problem? No, it's not. It will not. Now, does it make you feel better sometimes to vent or to release your objection to that problem? Yes, it does at some point. But here's the thing. Even when you vent and release your objection, it's not going to solve that problem. But this is what's going to solve the problem. When you deal with the issue and you find a solution. Okay, you have to deal with the issue and find a solution. This is what I do. I try to live a life where I hear the problem, I release it, and then I solve it. I hear, I release, and solve. That's how I do. That's how I do on my job. When something comes up, I try to hear the problem. Sometimes I may vent about it, but after that, I'm going to solve the problem. I'm going to ask questions. I'm going to get to the bottom of it, and I'm going to come up with a solution to try to fix it. And then I'm going to move on. Because if I complain about it, it's only going to make me heavy. It's going to put a spirit of heaviness on me, and I can't deal with that. And I've been very transparent about it. You know, I deal with anxiety, and I can't take on someone else's anxiety. I can't do that. I can't take on somebody else's issue in that way. But what I can do is listen to it, release it, and solve it. That's what I can do. That's all I can do. And if I can solve it with my team or with someone else, I'm gonna do that. But I have got to, and I'm gonna leave it, because if I don't, I take that on, and I take that pressure, and I take that heaviness on my shoulders, and my shoulders be tired. I'm little. I can't do it, but he can. So there's no reason for me to constantly complain about a situation that I need to find an answer to. You see what I'm saying? So how about, instead of complaining, help find a solution to the problem in some shape, way, or form. Okay? All right. So hear it, release it, solve it. That's my key. All right. Now this one, I added 4. You know, I normally give you 3, but I added another point because I wanted to just kind of get this across to you. When you minister to the needs of others, then you will be blessed. Okay? Let's look at Ephesians 6 and 7. It says, serve wholeheartedly as if you were serving the Lord, not people. Verse 8, because you know that the Lord will reward each one for whatever good they do, and whether they are slave or free. God is your rewarder. God is He will thank you. He will bless you. Don't look for people to do it. Don't look for man or anybody. Look for God. If people bless you, that's great, because God gonna use people to bless you. He will use people to bless you, but don't do what you do to get the blessing. God doesn't want us to do that. Now, on top of us serving, the reward is God saying, well done, and God will do the rewarding. Let Him reward you. Don't just go out there and doing it because you want Joe Blow to go out there and sing your praises. No. Don't do anything for selfish gain or selfish ambition, but serve as unto the Lord, and let Him do the rewarding. Let Him make your way straight. Do it for God, and watch, you'll last if you do it for Him. Alright guys, I hope that this video has encouraged your heart. If it has, hit that like button. Guys, you're watching the videos, but hit that like button if you like these videos, because liking them helps push those videos out so that people can hear the gospel. So like the video. If you're new here, thank you for joining me. Thank you for joining T's Thoughts. If you like what you hear, consider subscribing and joining the T's Thoughts family. Guys, until next time, kind to yourself, be kind to someone else, and have a grace-filled week. I'll see you next time. Bye.